Hello and welcome back to Scholastically Natalie, where we talk about books, writing, reading, D&D, and sometimes other things. Today, we're doing a book talk, in case you didn't read the title or you can't see what's on the screen. I know that this is actually kind of following up on the heels of another book talk. I've gotten back in the mood for reading my poetry, thank goodness. Hopefully, because of this, I will get back in the mood for reading my actual books that are just waiting for me on the little cart in my bedroom that's just full of books I would like to read. As you can tell, we've done great at that. So, I am thrilled to once again be reading Amanda Lovelace. I have the book after this, Flower Crowns and Fearsome Things, waiting to be read. It's just taken me far too long to work my energy up to read these things. But I was excited. I love Amanda Lovelace, so it was just great to read this. So, the blurb on the back is poetry. And it says, "The only one stopping you from holding the moon in your own two hands is you." And so, we will be reading some poetry from this because I love Amanda Lovelace and I can't not read you some of her absolutely gorgeous poems. And so this is part of the intro. It's not even part of the book of poetry. It's on page XIX. Let me tell you an even more rebellious story is the title. There is a girl who loves fairy tales more than anything. But no matter how hard she searches for an answer, she can't understand why there even needs to be a prince. Why doesn't the princess just marry herself, she asks, to which they all reply, but that wouldn't be romantic. Which, I just love that. And then next on page 82, which is pretty far into the book. When a mere dusting of snow covers the streets, there are entire cities that shut down because they aren't prepared for the danger it brings. That won't be me. The winter of my life cannot and will not triumph over me, for I decided a long time ago that defeat is not a choice worth considering. The definition of a fighter. I have marked several poems that just make me happy and just hit me really well. And then I would like to include this last one on page 93, which says, "Do not wait until someone tells you that you can. We made it this far only because we decided that we could. Minds of our very own." And so I wanted to kind of give you my overall take on this, as I do in all of my book talks, and the main theme of this poetry book is siblings, which is interesting because if you're familiar with Amanda Lovelace's poetry, she often interjects with a voice of life advice, which can come in different forms, but they're always titled with "somebody says," and in her past couple poetry collections it's been "Fairy Godmother says," and in this one it is "Big Sister says," which has been kind of a fun thing to see her position herself in a more close and loving relationship with her audience, because for me fairy godmothers are indeed more distant. So it was neat. I honestly don't know if Amanda Lovelace has siblings, I'm gonna be honest. Because I don't look into the authors I read. But I think that it's a good... She's introducing it as kind of every woman can be your sister, as long as you're attached to each other and stuff. And I mean, I do have a sister, so this was nice to see, a kind of process of siblings existing with each other, and sometimes in a volatile relationship, but ultimately being there for each other, which, is nice to see. And I can say that, as always, Amanda Lovelace has her own unique and very blunt style. Her poetries tend to be short, and to the point. They smack you with just the way she chooses words is thrilling. I don't know. I love how she writes. And I also like this because with her new, like, fairy tale, be your own kind of fairy tale series, that you are your own fairy tale, she really is just telling a story in different segments. In her other series, that's, the princess saves herself in this one, she kind of did segment those, but I like these because it tells a story with each opening and ending. I think this is in 3 parts, and I did like that she uses art to divide the parts, which is also lovely. And I did like this one because it's about self-realization and not needing another person to make yourself feel whole or to be worthy, which is very important. And I don't know, I just love how Amanda Lovelace always writes about, like, self-realization, and, like, even when I think she's told me enough about me believing in myself, she always has another angle and another aspect to look at it from, which is always, it's always nice. It's always really good. I'm definitely not complaining, because, I mean, the one that sticks with me the most is always The Witch Doesn't Burn in this one, because it's just such an angry book, which isn't a bad thing. And so, like, that was very much defiance, and I will not stay where you put me. And for this one, it's less of focusing on other people's expectations for you and living up to your own. And I think it's very good. It's quite nice. And then it's also the encouragement of, you don't need to be beholden to any sort of expectation society might put on you, which is always something that's nice to hear. And as she always does on every single one of her poetry books, which I very much appreciate, and I think most, authors who deal with this should do this, is that she puts a trigger warning on the front, which, yes, you should, because people who aren't prepared to read about some of this, it's not as good. And so her trigger warning always says, this book contains sensitive material relating to child abuse, toxic relationships, sexual assault, eating disorders, mental illness, self-harm, sexism, suicide, trauma, and possibly more. Remember to practice self-care before, during, and after reading, which I appreciate. I think Caroline Kaufman also puts a similar trigger warning in the front of her poem, which I think is only a good thing, because sometimes you're looking for books that will help uplift you and talk about stuff you're dealing with, but sometimes it's not the time for you to read those. So I appreciate Amanda Lovelace and her writing and everything she's doing, and I don't know, I think she's a wonderful poet, and she's especially a good person to kind of start reading through, because she does not write in convoluted language. Like, she can be a bit flowery, but not often. And so the way she talks about things is to the point, and you get the meaning of her poems without having to decipher them. Of course, I like deciphering things, but I also like having easily understood but still impactful poems. And so I think definitely, as always, if you're new to the poetry reading scene, Amanda Lovelace cannot turn you wrong, because her writing is just, it's rated E for everyone, unless, they're small children, in which case no. It's rated E for easily understood by anyone, but perhaps not meant to be read by everyone. There we go. That's how I should phrase that. Anyways, I just wanted to give you a short chit chat about this book. I just love how she phrases things. I love how her poetry looks. I love her style and her aesthetic. I love all her covers and their aesthetics. Like, I don't know. She just has all the vibes that I want in my poetry books, I guess I should say. But yes, if you have any poetry recommendations for me, any other authors you'd be interested in seeing me poke through, I do have some older poets that I just haven't really branched into reading a lot of their stuff. Oh no, I'm yawning. So if you'd like that, I'd love to poke around with them. I never know quite what I want to do next in the upcoming video until I do it. So I hope you all have a fabulous weekend, and you are able to get your motivation up to do at least one mildly important task for yourself, whether that is brushing your teeth, cleaning your shower, or doing some laundry. If you have a lot more motivation, I hope you accomplish all of the things you need to do, because that can be difficult. And I will see you guys in the next one. Scholastically Natalie is out.